I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing? You said your name was Julie and a shotgun wedding you regret, but you're not ready to commit treason against a family set of rules. Your mind that hangs above your head like a prison. And I showed up like Romeo to save you from your life, but you just sentenced me to death or exile. And now I'm lying at the altar without you and I'm drinking the vial. If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing? So tell me how it's possible to be so unpredictable but keep up such a scripted scene. How did you get so complicated and walk out on me? And maybe when I'm Romeo and Juliet, but when you said forever I took it literally. I never thought you'd be the one smiling on the end of the blade that I bleed. If I could tell you what it really feels like, do you think that it would change a thing? Do you think that it would change a thing? If I was honest, open and not so afraid of commitment, do you think that I could trust again? Or am I just broken? 'Cause these hands scared to reach out, they're scared to fall down. They're gonna feel strength to break another fall or feel anything at all. And my heart stops at the thought of beating like yours, or being ripped out and kicked to the ground and torn, or feeling any.
Go.
How are we there, guys? And welcome to another episode of the Smashing Crossbar Podcast. I'm your host, Josh, as always. We are joined by Benny and Rob once more. Benny, how are you, buddy?
Not too bad, mate. I've just seen that there's no picture of me, but that's all right. I'll fix that in a minute.
Well,
We need an exclamation mark. Hang on, do we have an exclamation mark tech?
Yeah, I think we did have one. I think
We
we did
do?
have one in there somewhere. So feel free, whack it in there, everybody.
Technical difficulties.
Let us know that you can hear us. I know there's been so many issues over the friggin' last 4 years. I think we've been friggin' running the podcast that about the friggin' volume levels. So let us know you guys can hear us. It'd be muchly appreciated. Robbie's here as well, mate. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you, sir. How are we all?
We are very good, mate. Friggin', how was your weekend? Any football?
Yeah, went obviously Adelaide United on the Friday, and actually had a break for the first time in a while from the local game. So back we're airing to go this weekend with a bit of Women's National Premier League, and my first opportunity as a mentor referee. So looking forward to it.
Very good, mate. Very good. Welcome, Crit, and thank you for noticing the hat. I'm glad you noticed it. We will dive into that in a quick sec. In regards to the hat, obviously you can see up there the Kafey Cafe. We'll dive into that in one sec. Benny, mate, how's your weekend? Any football? Any what happened? Any FIFA? Plenty of FIFA, I'm sure.
Huh?
Plenty of FIFA, I'm sure. If not any football.
Oh, yeah. Sat around, did a bit of FIFA. Late night fucking 6 hours. You know how it goes.
Absolutely. Freaking public holidays and Christ knows what. How was everyone's Easter?
Not long enough.
Went back to work today, and I'm like, yeah, I could do with another 4-day break, hey.
Well, I had my first day off over Easter friggin' today. Bloody, I worked the whole bloody weekend, so the whole friggin' public holidays. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed your 3 days at least to 4 days off. So, welcome, chat. Anyway, tonight's show we will be talking, obviously, the A-League, getting very, very close now to the pointy end of the season. Couple of games to go. It is an absolute dogfight from the bottom to sixth place. Anyone can get there pretty well from 6th to 12th. Last place, obviously Melbourne Victory, 1 point behind everybody else. So yeah, interesting one there. We'll quickly dissect into that. We're going to talk a bit of relegation, talking about end of seasons and stuff like that. Few weeks to go, obviously in the top 5 leagues around the world, but we're going to dive into that because there's some interesting relegation battles. None other than the Aussie coach who left Melbourne City earlier in the year to take on Troyes in Liga 1 is in a absolute shit show. And in true Aussie spirit, He come out and absolutely fucking let rip at the players the other day after a disappointing loss again. So, yeah, interested to see what's going to happen there come the end of the season, whether he keeps his job. And obviously the main one, if they get relegated in total. So, anyway, before we go any further, we will go through the sponsors. So, yeah, big shout out to Gabrielle Ma, optometrist at Jesmond. Be sure to go down and see those guys for all your eye care needs. It is muchly appreciated. Tell them we sent you, and those guys will help you out muchly. No, and obviously, as you can see, the hat I'm wearing at the moment, the Cafe Cafe, the top of town in Newcastle. If you love a great coffee and good feed, be sure to go down there and check out Julian's Cafe. If you're a Liverpool fan, be sure to get down there for most of the early morning kickoffs for all Liverpool matches. It is the home of the Newcastle Liverpool supporters group as well. So big shout out to Julian and the guys from Cafe Cafe for coming on board as a sponsor. We do appreciate it. And yeah, plenty more to come, obviously, in regards to what's happening there throughout the weeks and so forth as well. So big shout out to those two major sponsors. We do appreciate it. And we can't, well, we're not like every podcast. We can run the podcast without the sponsors, but it is greatly appreciated for any assistance and so forth to make sure that we give you guys the best quality and, yeah, performance that we possibly can. So cheers for that, guys. Anyway, what do we got here? So if we go to the cafe, do we get a discount or a free pie? Well, no, you probably won't get a pie. There's not much pie at the Cafe Cafe. But again, that's something we can talk about. I need to sit down with Julian. Might be something Ben and I might do actually when he's up next week. Pop in and see Julian and yeah, sort of tee up something, a little bit of a discount for our supporters of the show. So yeah. Anyway, I'm going to quickly dive into some local football. NPL action here in Newcastle, absolute banging round. It was. I went down and watched Charlestown play Cooks Hill down there at Lolcar Oval. Big shout out to Reegs and the boys down there. Great effort. Absolute fucking headache. Unbelievable. 0-0 till 5 minutes to go. Reegs out after 40 minutes for the friggin' ankle injury. It was nail-biting stuff. I couldn't imagine what the coaches were going through on the sideline. There was, fuck me, some efforts there. And yeah, Charlie got away at the very end there with a win, narrow win. So still keeps him top of the table, undefeated, 6 games, 6 victories, and flying high for a club that probably deserves it with the depth and obviously the quality they've got in their squad. Quick one around the grounds while I've got yours. Oh, there we go. Valentine Western Bears was postponed. Late Macquarie went down to Lambton Jaffers 3-1. Charleston, as I said, 1-0. Hamilton Olympic 3-1 over Adamstown. And Maitland had a draw with Broadmeadow Magic, which was match of the round for me, that one there. Yeah, so before we go any further, guys, what else have you guys got in the... Is there anything interesting?
Yeah.
In your neck of the woods?
We had a few draws come out at the end of our week. So Croydon King, Adelaide Comets, both 2-2. Campbelltown City, West Adelaide, 1-1. White City absolutely pumped South Adelaide 4-1.
Yep.
Sturt Lions and Adelaide Olympic drew 1-1. Modbury Jets and Adelaide City 2-2. So these are some big results at the end. But the best game of the round had to be Metro Stars Adelaide United. First v second, they're both tied for the early points in the season. And Adelaide United ended up pulling out 2-1 win against Metro Stars. So they've actually come back into top of the ladder now, both sitting on equal points. And look, it's going to be a cracking season. So would highly recommend all those in South Australia, get into it. It's nothing better than some local football.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, we're quickly going through some of the competitions as we speak. But yeah, Bar TV, if you are in the Newcastle, Northern New South Wales area, and NPL TV, you'll be able to pretty much get any game you're sort of looking for all around Australia in the NPL competition. So yeah,
And the
get on.
scary part is you'll be even able to watch My Ugly Mug on Friday night on NPL TV.
There we go. Everyone, get around that. Get around that.
Get around it.
Someone clip it. Someone get a screenshot of it and We'll just freaking might have to.
Just from about here up, all right? Anything further down doesn't need to be broadcast, all right? I keep on saying to the camera guys on all the grounds, if you find my good side, let me know because I'll still try and look for it after 35 fucking years.
What about you, Benny? In the few leagues you've got control of, mate? Any surprises? Any interesting things?
Yeah, there was. So it starts off with Friday night. We'll start with the Vic MPL. So on the Friday night, Green Gully, Moreland City. Green Gully absolutely fucking bombing it once again. 6-2 over Moreland City. Absolutely killing it. On the Saturday, we got Port Melbourne Sharks 2, St Albans Saints 1. Narrow loss there. The big one here, Hume City hosting South Melbourne. 0-0. Not good for South Melbourne's season. Next one is top of the tables. That is Avondale FC 3-1 over Dandenong Thunder. Shock loss happening on the Sunday. Altona Magic 2-1 over Heidelberg. Oh yeah. Bit of a dicey one there. And then on the Monday, so yesterday, you've got a fight back from now last place, North Geelong Warriors 2, Melbourne Knights 3. So Melbourne Knights just get out of jail there. And it's all happening for the new Bentley Greens ex-Jets coach.
Yep.
Runs out against Oakley Cannons and gets thumped 3-0.
Oh, ouch.
In true Jets fashion.
Must have played the Jets formation 4-3-2-1 or whatever the fuck it is.
So as things stand after 8 rounds, Avondale FC are still undefeated at the top of the table with 7, 1 draw and no losses.
Yeah, they're next level. They are next level at the moment. They've recruited freaking unbelievably well. And, the biggest thing as well is people look at it and go freaking they must be rigging the system and that. They've been prepping this for years. This is
they have.
That isn't 12-month season. This has happened prior to COVID. They've really been, they got hit pretty hard when they got the financial situation there with the FFA Cup when it was the FFA Cup. They got in trouble and they copped they got the massive fine and everything else. So they've taken that in their stride and gone, you know what, we're better than that. And they're now you look at them now. Obviously, they're dominating the league, and so it's good to see. Good to see. And as I said, Benny and I've got a couple of good mates over there who are in and amongst that club. So good on them and Anthony and so forth. Killing it, mate. Killing it.
And the shock now as well is that Bentley Greens have finally climbed off the bottom of the table.
Ooh.
Only by goal difference.
Oof. Ouch.
They have won a game now though. But they are currently sitting at -11. North Geelong Warriors are currently sitting at -19. Although North Geelong Warriors have scored 9 more goals. And we move into, for the first time ever, the NPL Tasmania.
Hey.
They're 3 rounds in, but it's Tasmania. We don't really get too much.
Slow for me.
Some big fixtures, so I'll just run through the round 3 results and how things stand at the moment. So, Kingsborough Lions versus Clarence Zebras, that finished 6-3 in Kingborough's favour. The second game of the round was Devonport versus Launceston. Launceston losing 2-0 to Devonport, whilst also going down to 10 men. Always good for a laugh. Launceston United is the host of our next game, playing against one of the only teams that has put their name forward for the National Second Division. And that is Launceston United versus South Hobart. South Hobart got away with that one in the last minute with a 3-2 victory. And the final game of the round was Riverside Olympic versus the Glenorchy Knights. Glenorchy Knights ran out winners in that one 5-0. As the table stands at the moment after 3 rounds, 2 teams undefeated, both Devonport in first and South Hobart currently being separated by goal difference. Rounding out the bottom in 8th place, you've got Riverside Olympic, who are yet to win a game, have scored 1 goal in 3 rounds and conceded 12.
Oof.
Yeah, oofed. Big oofed.
Yeah, shit. Oh, very good. I've just got a quick one in up there in Brisbane. Not so much the rounds, but the table. The table is very tight at the top of the table. First, second, and third, all on 11 points. With 3 wins, 2 draws, and no losses. So all 3 of those clubs being the Lions, Gold Coast United, and Sunshine Coast Wanderers, doing very, very good things there in Queensland and New South Wales. Rockdale Linden still on top. IPA Leichhardt second. Marconi Staines third. Sydney FC fourth. Sydney United 58 fifth. And rounding out the top 6 is Blacktown City. Blacktown City there. So, yeah, a few big names. Sydney Olympic struggling down in 8th at the moment. Same with Manly United and Wollongong Wolves all the way down in 10th. So, big climb for some of the heavy hitters to try and get their way back up into contention for the title. So, to answer your question there, Crit, I believe I've seen something about what you reckon about the Jets and Raw. We'll get into it. Not much, mate. I've seen footage of Ben after last week's performance, and I'm telling you now, I'm glad there wasn't a camera after this week's performance in my fucking joint, because I'm telling you, I lost my shit. And
So did I.
Unfortunately, it only got worse after witnessing the press
conference
at the end of the game there from Arthur Pappas. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, because at the end of the day, they are my club and I love them and I'll support them till the cows come home. But enough's enough. Like, it's starting to get embarrassing, and not saying that we're going to get we're going to get the wooden spoon, or we don't even need that. If we don't make final series, it's an absolute embarrassment, because we've done absolutely everything right, and there's no way we should be losing games the way we've lost our games. The games that we've lost, in the tight contests, we should have won, and they should have been 3 points, and we should not be scrambling as much as we're scrambling to try and revive.
They're pulling a Birmingham City. They lose against the teams they should be belting, and they win against the teams that they should be getting smashed by.
The funny thing, I think out of the whole scenario of the whole Brisbane Roar and Newcastle Jets game, Brisbane proved exactly what I've said week in, week out. And if you go back to the previous podcasts where I've said Brisbane are nowhere near as bad as what the frigging table looks.
Oh no, no. We've said that from day one.
They proved that in that game. That game there is the results that they should have rounded out against other big name teams to probably see them in the top 6. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. It's embarrassment. We've
they buried us and we played mediocre.
Yeah. The problem is we play mediocre all the time. It's the same old shit every year. That's the thing. It was
the same thing as I said last week. There's no drive. There's no passion. There's no urgency. There's no willingness to do better.
Where's the club from friggin' the first 2 rounds?
Yeah.
Where's the team? Where's the team that friggin' went out and absolutely dominated the first 2 rounds? Like, we beat Brisbane 4-0 at home, and again, it was a shit performance.
Yeah.
But far out. It's just getting damn right embarrassing, and yeah.
I'm at the stage where I'm about to start, as a supporter, starting to call them a Tim Bot club.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
Look, there's a lot of things wrong, and I'm sure people will be sitting here and be like, again, Lukey, and there's plenty of Jets guys in here that see it and will go back and watch it, I'm sure. And I'm sure they'll probably go take it and go watch this and see what he says and shit like that. But it's just a shit show, right? I get that we're not winning games, therefore the fans aren't turning up.
Right.
But I believe it lies with the supporter group, right? And I'm sure they're going to sit there and they're going to go to me, oh, well, if you think it's shit, do something about it. I'm like, man, I'm 34 with kids, and I don't have time for this shit, and I've been there and I've done it since day one. So I've supported them, I've travelled, I've done everything I need to do. But when you come out and you say that that's it, the supporter group's done, we're not going to any more games or freaking whatever, and then you try and come out and try and build it and hype it up. We need everybody in Bay 2. We need everybody to fucking go to the game, and la-di-da, and get as many people there and shit like that. Like, you're sending mixed messages. One minute you fucking don't give a fuck, and now you're expecting everybody to give a fuck. Mate, it's not how it works.
They're all over the place like a mad woman's shit.
Absolutely. There's no management. There's no one in charge of that fucking supporter group. And I get that it's difficult. I'm sure it's absolutely difficult to try and get the backing of the supporter group from the club as a whole.
Yep.
Because let's be fucking honest.
The club don't even back the club.
Exactly right. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not a dig at friggin' Shane and everyone else running the show. I'm sure they're trying to do the best they possibly can. But when you've got no ownership, how are they meant to help the supporter group? So I get where the supporter group was coming from, going, fucking too hard basket. This is bullshit. We're getting no help.
Yeah.
Whatever. But if you come out and you state that fucking that's it, that's it. Don't get 2 or 3 blokes to go, that was just a couple of the guys or whatever venting it or whatever it is. We still want to give it a go. You fucking... You call it done, 2023, and you use this time to rebuild. Rebuild the supporter group. Why isn't it working? What can we do to make it work? What can we do that we don't need the frigging club's backing?
Yeah.
You know?
So, speaking from experience in the Red Army, we are registered as a non-for-profit organisation.
Yeah.
We are known as the Adelaide United Supporter Group Incorporated, trading as the Red Army AUFC.
Yeah.
We have a connection with Adelaide United. However, we are fully independent.
Yeah.
All right. This
how it needs to be.
allows us to make sure that, yes, we can go to the club and go, hey, got a great idea. What do you think? But we can also know that if shit does go down, the club can't come to us and go, hey, you can't do this and you can't do that. Well, show it to us in the law of our ticket admission.
Absolutely.
You know? So it's great to work with the club. Don't get me wrong, it really is, because it makes things a lot more easier, makes it a lot smoother. I mean, I was
It's nice to have a club
that
that wants to work with you.
We had obviously the change over from Piet Vanderpoel last week over to
Yeah.
Ned Morris, right? Next thing you know, Ned's like, hey, I want to meet with the Red Army.
Good.
Right, so I got last Tuesday or Wednesday, got to sit down and have a really good chat with Ned, got a really good chat with Cor, one of the owners, and with the other background staff like Nathan and one of the other guys. And for us, it's one of those things where, again, we'll work with the club. But the one thing we always remind them, we're there before you, we'll be there after you, we'll work with you, but screw us and we'll make sure that you know it.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, the club needs you. You don't need the club.
Correct.
All right. So if you remind them of that and go, hey, look, we are the 12th men on that pitch or the 12th woman or whatever. Yeah. And unless you pay us some respect, you're not going to have this. You're not going to have the atmosphere that brings people to the game.
Yeah.
But that's also part of the problem with the Jets. The Jets aren't willing to come to the table.
Well, okay, let me ask you this. If you have no owner, where's the accountability?
Correct.
Yeah.
So who at the end of the season can you point the finger at? You can point it at the players, yeah, sure. You can point it at Pappas, right?
Pappas will get the ball. It will be
both fair and reasonable. However, when you've got 4 clubs currently, or 3 or 4 clubs owning it in Australia, there is no accountability. At the end of the day, they're doing you a service by purchasing that club and keeping it running while they're waiting for a new purchaser. Now, at the moment, the way they're running it, who in their right mind is going to look at the club and go, I'm willing to spend $25 million and then having to spend a further probably $10 million to get it back out of the shit?
Lost cause.
Look, at the end of the day, Pappas is going to cop 90% of this shit because he's the only one that is accountable right now. Why? Because he's in charge of the team. Yeah. He's the one who's made the transfers. He's the one who's brought every one of these mediocre players in. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean that it's just not good enough. You know, you look at clubs that are bringing in superstars and we're bringing in fuck all. But
this is, okay, so I'm I'm in two minds in regards to bringing in the superstars. All right, we don't. We have a couple of good players. Obviously, Craig Goodwin is
Yep.
one of the best in the league. We acknowledge that.
Mhm.
You have Halloran, which is a former Socceroo player, right?
Absolutely.
You have your SES, you have your
Correct.
One Day, and you have your Lopez, all right? So,
Yep.
yeah, we've got, what, 5 players at the moment? How many of them are currently starting for us?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, and I mean this in great respect, mate. It doesn't matter. I would kill to have half of that in the fucking background.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a fuck if they're playing. Like, you know what I mean? This is the biggest thing for me, right? And I mean superstars. Okay, you know, O'Neill is fantastic, and I think he's a great asset to the club.
Absolutely.
But it's finding the right players, right? It's finding those players that are. I'm sure Becker's a fucking superstar in his own right. He's an international footballer and so forth. But he's not what we need right now. You know what I mean? He's not giving us the goals that he needs to. And I know that he come out and he had the shits at the fans and he had the shits at us as a club, stating that his role isn't the number 9 anymore. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But you're only scoring from penalties.
Mm-hmm.
You take that away and you give that to friggin' Hoffman. Hoffman's a leading goal scorer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's all good. And I get you don't have the massive amount of superstars. Western United don't have a massive amount of superstars. And look, they won the league.
Mm-hmm.
And you look where it happened this year. They pretty much haven't changed much at all. And now they're suffering for it. But are they really suffering for it? Not really. They're not suffering. They're suffering in the points wise, and they're probably going to really struggle to make finals.
Mm.
But they've got the core blokes at the club that are going to attract decent players.
They have a structure and a hierarchy that works.
Absolutely. Their structure is there. There is a core, right? I mean, you know, I mean, it's like, okay, they've won the title and they're dropping, but they're only going to drop so far. They're not going to drop to the shit. They're only going to drop so far and go, righto, fuck. Now we need to work out what we need to do.
Yeah,
Is
this is a
play-
problem that we need to fix. Right, Johnny, go fix it.
Yep.
That's right. That's when your coaching staff comes in and your management and your owners and shit like that all need to get in and go, what the fuck happened? We won the league last year.
So
Whose
let
fault is it? And
me
how do
ask
we
you this. Let me ask you this question.
Yep.
If you are the 4 other clubs that currently own Newcastle Jets,
Yep.
do you want Newcastle Jets doing better than what your club is doing?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that's the thing. I've got nothing. I thank all of those clubs for doing something that a previous successor at the club fucking had to do on his own bat.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've come in and fucking bought 4 or 5, 6, 7, I don't know who they've brought in. They've done it to save the club.
Yep.
So that this season there wasn't a buy. Because that's where it was heading. You know, we were heading to the fucking shitty. You know what I mean? We're in debt. We owe fucking people money. We owe fucking the FFA money. So I get that these clubs have come in and are doing absolutely everything they possibly can just to keep our head afloat. And I thank them immensely for that. Do I expect them to do more? Absolutely not. Why would they? Why should they? You know what I mean? If Adelaide's involved in that and they're forking out X amount of dollars to us to keep us afloat, as a fan of Adelaide, I'm going to be losing me shit. Going, well, fuck me.
Mm-hmm.
Why bother? Fuck them. You know, if they can't afford it, see you later. Bring someone in who can. Or go hit someone else up that doesn't already run a club.
Yep.
So those guys, you know, for what they're doing is fantastic. And I applaud them for coming out and stating that they're not going to just give it to somebody.
Yep.
Because they want to see it succeed. And everybody wants to see the competition succeed and grow. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you're bringing in another 2 clubs, essentially, into this competition, whilst at least one that we know of, the Newcastle Jets, who is openly stated that we're fucked financially. But it doesn't mean that we're not the only one. I'm sure there's plenty out there that are struggling. They might not be as worse off as we are, but I'm sure they're struggling. So to bring 2 new clubs in, I don't know. For me, I'm like, shouldn't we just make sure that every other club's financially stable first? But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I guess
you're going to bring 2 clubs in.
If you think about it this way, though, if you've got 2 more clubs coming in, you've got additional games that they're going to be able to play.
Yeah.
All right. What that then does is it gives more value for the product. Okay. So at the end of the day, you're going to be able to go to an owner. Right. We've got a 14 team by then. What is that? 14 teams with the new 2 teams coming in.
Yeah.
Right. So you got 14 team competition.
Yep.
They're playing 26 rounds. All right. There's going to be at least 9 games. What does it make it? 7 games around.
It'll bring it down to 30 games roughly a season.
Yep. So you're going to have more value for money, more impact on your advertising, more impact on your brand, more impact on eyes on the screen, and also in the ground. So yes, there is value for money there in regards to sponsorship, and that may also then turn into, hey, okay, this club's now viable in relation to the purchase. I can guarantee you. Right. This is coming from a background where our club had a board who would quite often come out and make comments, statements, and make personal opinions public that would discredit the players, the board, and the team itself, which was publicly damaging to our brand and our club's reputation. We still were lucky enough to find purchases.
Yeah.
I guess
I know what you're saying. I get it.
It's easier said than done, especially with the season you've had. And as you said, you had a very brief glimmer of hope at the start of this season, where it looked like you guys were actually going to, make a mark on the league. And it hasn't turned out the way you wanted it to. But I wouldn't say it's over until
Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I get it. Correct me if I'm wrong, though, Ben. Right? And you're talking about, and this is, he's talking about, obviously, the extra games. And this is only from a Jets point of view. That's why I'm asking for Ben's opinion on this. The extra games comes in, or whatever it is. That's fantastic as a whole for the competition and the football fans and everything else. It adds value. Of course, it's extra games and extra coverage, la-di-da, la-di-da. But from a Jets point of view at the moment, where we're sitting here and we can't find anyone to buy us now, with more games coming in, correct me if I'm wrong, Ben, if more games get added,
go up.
Yeah, if more games get added, that means the expense then goes up. And we're struggling to afford shit now, and we're struggling to attract a buy for it now.
I mean,
I'm
fuck
telling you
me,
now,
we only
if
got
I'm
a
an
front of
investor-
shirt. How many years did we run without a fucking front of shirt sponsor?
Absolutely.
Question.
Because again, nobody would touch us with a fucking 10-foot pole and trust us with any fucking money.
And that's the thing. And this isn't a 2-year thing, and this hasn't been happening since the club got.
This
help
has been
from
happening
all other
like
clubs.
middle of Martin Lee's reign.
Oh,
The club
it's
is tainted. The club is fucking. I'm gonna say it, and I said it the other night.
Yeah.
The club is tainted. The club is fucking toxic from top to bottom.
Correct.
Doesn't matter who owns us at the moment, who's running us. I'm sorry, if I'm Shane Matiski, and that happens, and Paramount comes out and says, oh, we'll have chats with both managers at the end of the game, and I sit there and watch it, and Pappas doesn't front up his face to those Paramount Plus cameras, the first thing I'd be doing as CEO of the club, doesn't matter whether I want to be there or not, is to march my ass down to those fucking changing rooms and go, right, what the fuck has happened? Why the fuck did you not front your face? Because I'm sorry, you might not want to do it, but the fans deserve a fucking response.
And you're contractually obligated.
Aside from that, the fans deserve a fucking response for the woeful display that you put on. You're the man at the fucking top. You make the fucking decisions. You go out there and you face them.
Was Pappas a 1 or 2 year deal?
2.
2-year deal.
It won't get renewed. Which is probably why he's got the team playing so fucking mediocre to begin with. You know why? Because he knows it's tainted and he don't want to fucking be there.
And the problem is, right, we're just talking about the males right now. Yeah, I mean, the fucking women are fucked.
Oh, the
Like-
women are a fucking hot mess as well.
It's an absolute shit show, and I'm amazed. You know what I mean? I'm torn, right? Because I can't believe that Gary has signed on next year as the coach. Right? I fucking respect that man so much. He's the fucking best manager we've had at that club. He's the most successful fucking manager. Anyone
Correct.
can fucking say shit. He's the fucking he got us that fucking premiership from nothing.
Mm.
There was no fucking superstars at that club when we won it in 2008. Yes, it was a new competition and shit like, but we didn't have fucking Dwight York and fucking shit like that bloody winning us a league. Like, fuck me. He took a couple of... Jade North wasn't even fucking close to his 30th birthday, and he was the captain of the club. You know what I mean? And now he's got it. Now he's got the challenge of a lifetime. International coach, part of the AIS, friggin' developing youth and everything else. And now he's got the toughest job of his career, trying to do something with that women's side that is just an absolute shit show. It has been since day one. You know what I mean? We sit here and take the piss and laugh at fucking the Central Coast Mariners. They won the title in the women's division and then fucked off. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. We bite our tongue and stuff like that. Shit needs to change. Shit needs to change quickly. But I can't see anybody successful. I can't see anybody at the moment as a fan taking over that club in any aspect of, I'm going to turn this into a success.
No, because they know it's
As you said, Ben said it best. We couldn't get a fucking sponsor. What club in the A-League can't get a sponsorship for the fucking front of shirt? It's ludicrous. How long was Viola your friggin' front of shirt sponsor for?
Oh,
You know what I mean?
I can't even tell you. Yeah.
He's built a history.
Yes.
He's built a dynasty.
But how quick do you reckon the renewal fucking deal would have been on fucking that?
Well, okay. So here's the thing, though.
You know what I mean? Like,
What's helped us and what saved our asses something chronic was winning the grand final.
rain cups and shit. And that's
Okay. So the grand final deal, right?
Yeah.
The reason why we got IGA as our sponsor for years was because they were there that day. They saw how much it meant to us, and they signed off. Signed off the contract just from that game alone.
Yeah.
Okay. So sometimes, again, as I said, I'm trying to be the optimist here, and I can definitely understand the frustration. All right, being there, done that, got the postcard. You know, even the year after the grand final, we went from top to fucking bottom very hard. Right, so yeah, I've been through it, and I've watched a shit show that is the front end and the back end of the football basically just take the absolute crap out of each other. But in this scenario, what I can suggest as a potential, start off small again. I know it's easier said than done, but at the moment, how hang on. I know, Josh. I know you're chomping on the bit to fight back on this one. For active listening time.
How small are we now?
Sorry,
Okay.
Chatty.
Okay, so here's a question I have to ask.
Sorry, Chad.
Yeah, Chad, you tell him.
I got a bit animated. It doesn't happen often.
Just a little bit.
Bullshit. He friggin' told her to go.
Not
turn
like
the
that,
TV
it
up
don't.
on the
Not like that, it
TV,
don't.
go
Yeah.
get a beer.
This is probably the most I've seen you two fired up. Hey, okay, so how much is the hold currently at the Jet Stadium?
Hold
Yep,
just
33?
under 40. Just under 40.
just under 40.
Yeah, it's
Right.
37.
So here's an idea. Start doing what we did. Go back to the locals. We did a couple of games at Marden. Holds a maximum of 8,000. Now, I know it sounds silly, but you start getting into the local NPL clubs and start playing a couple of games there. Obviously, the stadiums will have to be, within regulation for the A-League. However, you get a couple of the big, NPL teams around your area. All right, you start gaining access again. Next thing you know, the local and community teams are going, shit, we've got to be a part of this. All right. The best thing about that as well, it creates the biggest selling market around. Scarcity creates want, need, and must. Now, if you can only fit 8,000 or say 4,000 into a stadium, and you got people wanting to be there and they can't get in there, they're going to go, shit, we got to get our tickets quick. Next, you start selling out 4,000 every week.
Yep.
Then you go, all right, we'll then move on to the next stadium. We'll do a 6,000 deal. 6,000 people get in. Next, people can't get a couple of tickets. Shit, we're going to have to buy again. This is something that we've done. Right? I had people on the Red Army forum on Friday messaging up until about half an hour before the game going, we need tickets. And no one was answering. Normally it's like, yeah, got a couple of spare ones here, got a couple of spare ones here. We sold out.
Yeah.
On Good Friday. And it started raining.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but it's got a lot to do with obviously performance, yes. Let's not sugarcoat it here. People come for the event. People come for the spectacle because, hey, they're going
Jets
to get
fans are the worst for it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There's no worse off club.
But, on the other hand as well, if you build that scarcity and you're in a smaller area, it's going to sound louder.
The problem with that is that you need that community mindset and driven focus to achieve that goal. Problem is, under Laurie, I would have said yes. Because that would have worked. The current ownership structure, they do not give a flying fuck about the community.
Absolutely.
Language.
They do not give a flying hoot, mate, about the community. Their fan engagement, or what they deem to be fan engagement, is small time. Not only is it small time, but 9 times out of 10, it's by obligation from either a sponsorship deal or some other thing that's come up.
Yep.
And it is pumped up in a way of, oh, look at us, we're a community thing, but it is done in a bare minimum thing. It's very throwaway.
Yep.
And you can tell that it's done by reading how it's worded and stuff like that, through nothing but obligation from something else. It's, oh shit, we got one of these things coming up. Better post something about it. Prime example, the email I got today about springing for the 2-game memberships.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes. That's the shit we get,
yes.
Mate. That's the crap. Oh, friggin' for $50 or $60 or whatever it is, you can be a 3-game member. Mate, they haven't turned up for the fucking whole season. They don't give a fuck about the last 3 games. Like seriously, there's a game on Friday night, is there not?
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Laurie's greatest brainchild, he had 2 great brainchilds. One, we go to the coast and the coast come to us and we get it for free.
Yep.
And the second one was kids go free.
Yep.
Yeah. Both of his.
Because Laurie was very much in the way of, okay, Laurie was a big picture bloke. Yeah, okay, we lose out on a bit of revenue here and we lose out on a bit of revenue here. But that's 1,000, 1,500 extra people in that stadium, which looks a hell of a lot better. An extra 1,500 people on TV looks a hell of a lot better than, okay, for the lack of revenue. Then there's that draw. Maybe, and then our membership department has the opportunity then to try and flip those and convert them into members.
You've missed his number one brainchild. He was accessible.
Yes, he's there, and that's right. He was the opposite of the structure that we have now.
If you were Joe Blow walking your dog down the street, or friggin' bloody some U-Butte friggin' CEO of some multi-million-dollar company, he would chat and he would talk to whoever was there. He would friggin' do whatever it possibly. He'd make a dick of himself. Joey Champness is friggin' bloody injured or whatever it is. He can fucking DJ and rap or whatever it is. I'll get out there with a bloody clock or whatever it is on my fucking chest and shit like that and do the bloody jig and shit. Takes the piss out of himself just to friggin' to lighten the crowd and shit like that. It's just, it was his biggest asset. He was always available.
He was a community man, and he made the club community orientated. He felt that the fans had a voice, and we did.
Go down the pub,
and we did.
Get all the squadron, all the supporters group and shit like that. Get them all down to the pub, and give us all your ideas. I
Yep.
want to hear them all. From as fucking far-fetched to friggin' as realistic as you possibly can. I want to hear them all.
Yep. And he would every year without fail.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And again,
And the manager at the time would be sitting there right next to him.
Yeah. Another good one. Friggin' up at the top when he made the bar. Chatty will remember it. Friggin' the bar, it was up the stairs or whatever it is before the game. And you could go upstairs and you could sit along the friggin' bars, probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe before kickoff. So there wasn't overly a shitload of people. But he'd get players who weren't playing or whatever it out to answer fans' questions. And he'd be
That's
just
brilliant.
sitting there. There was no fucking security around him and shit like that. He'd be sitting on a bar stool and just sitting there just going, yeah, mate, what do you got? Any questions? Hand up. Yep. What do you want, mate? What do you want? Yeah, fucking this. I'll answer it for you. Next one. And it was so good. The engagement was fantastic.
As for the club in a community engagement aspect, that was the Jets' prime.
Yeah.
For community engagement, that period when Martin Lee owned the club and Laurie was in charge, that's what it was. Because that was Laurie's number one driving factor. You flip the script on that and you get an ownership structure like we do now, which is the complete opposite, but try and make it look like that they are. Man, you're not pulling the wool over my fucking eyes. And I'm a state away.
We haven't heard from Shane nowhere near enough as what we should as a CEO.
No. Because he doesn't give a flying.
Look, yeah. He lives in Sydney and shit like that, and he comes down when he needs to. Yeah, again.
He'll be the mouthpiece when he has to.
I get that he didn't put his... I'm almost fucking guarantee. He didn't put his hand up for the job.
Mm.
They've come to him and said, they need help, we need this, can you do something? Whether it be just fill in until we find somebody or fucking whatever. Which, again, you know, I mean, I don't want to rat on the bloke, appreciate him for coming on when he has and stuff like that. But
yeah,
I don't know. I get that it's a shit situation. I get that we don't technically have owners or whatever. But the thing for me is, as a fan, because we don't have owners, we rely on the CEO. That's it. That's all we have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We rely on you to tell us that everything's going to be all right. We're on track to fucking... We've remembered. How many members have we got? Lukey, get on the fucking website.
Yeah, the only thing we've got is
Tell me how many members we've got. I bet you can't even find it.
Yeah, the fans and the supporters, when we want to jump, we jump straight to the puppet because we don't know who the puppet masters are.
Yeah. Laurie was great, gave me a lift home from Sydney Airport after an Adelaide game, and I never met him before. And yes, I remember the pre-game function with injured or non-picked players.
Yeah. Because it was, you are a part of this club, whether you're on the pitch or you're not on the pitch.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
And again, I know I'm not sitting here going, oh, you can't just, Laurie. I know, I'm not dumb. I know that we will never, ever, ever get that in our club ever again.
Never.
You know what I mean? I'm not expecting that from the next CEO. I'm not expecting that from the new owners. But fuck me, I'm expecting some fan engagement. Like, fucking Christ. None of this bloody community friggin', kick or whatever it is and shit like that. Tell us the realistics. Tell us how we're really doing. Yeah. No, we haven't got any new offers from owners.
But that's the big thing that really miffs the Jet supporters.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they try and pull the wool over our eyes when all we just want the honesty. We don't give a fuck how bad it is. What kills the Jet supporter base, more so than anything else, is the uncertainty and the fucking crickets. We don't give a shit how bad it is.
And
just tell us.
This is something I discussed with Ned and I discussed with Core last week. Right. So when Piet stepped in, Piet said, I'm the football man. I do have people who are financing in the background as a consortium, but they're private. That's what they want to be. So for the next 5 years, conspiracy theories, left, right, and centre, they're tied up in gang wars. They're tied up in drug money. They're tied up in this. It's all this or it's all that. All it was 4 guys who just wanted to be left alone.
Yeah.
So it was. I even said to Cora and I said to Ned, I said, all it would have taken was, hey, these are the 4 names, and you would have had no further issues.
Yeah.
All it is some people want the truth. As hard as it sometimes is to stomach, especially in this situation, if your CEO tomorrow was to turn around and go, all right, guys, I'm going to come clean with you. The club's absolutely fucked. We're destitute. We're basically facing potential bankruptcy unless we get an owner in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're up shit creek. At least then okay, this is where we're at.
Yeah.
But the fact is, now you don't know where you're at. You're going to be in a situation of absolute limbo. And it's a Schrodinger's cat.
Yeah.
It's the best way to describe it. It is and isn't alive at the same time.
Yeah.
The other big problem is there's some people in this community, your Andy Roberts, the general, and stuff like that, who have pumped so much of their fucking hard-earned money into this club, and in previous years would know absolutely everything that's going on with that club, everything, from behind closed doors and shit like that. General's probably a hard one, not the right one to use because he is a former player and stuff like that, and or whatever. But the sponsorship, the sponsors, not the big sponsors, the ones who friggin' hire out the boxes and shit like that, they'd know everything. They'd know what struggles were going on and shit like that. Nowadays, there's no way they'd fucking have any idea. They'd be as stumped as we are. Of what did my $5,000 just go towards?
Yeah.
Probably to pay the players.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Before we go any further,
Chad did ask a good question as well.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly go into a couple of these. I totally forgot. 33,000 was the is the grand. I thought it was a little bit more than that, but there we go. Not much promotion of the games. Odd TV ad and radio ad. Yeah, fucking Jordan Elsie's still on the fucking cover of that one. Fucking media. Fucking tots. We wouldn't even fill an NPL ground. There's bigger crowds at Barnsley's Zone League 2. Put everyone on the side of the seats and only film that side. Fucking oath. Hey, fucking crit, not bad idea.
Yeah.
Fucking block one of the sides.
Been mentioned before.
Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Friday's game supposedly retro round as well.
Again, heard nothing about it.
Retro? What fucking retro? Mate, I'm going to the Greyhounds. If anyone in Newcastle's not doing anything, boys not out at the fucking Greyhounds on Friday night.
Yeah, I know. I'm watching.
Get there. Fuck them. I'm not spending any more money at the
I'll
fair
FaceTime
and shit
in.
like that. It's a shit show. Absolute shit show. Jets or whoever do the TV. Yep. Oh, there we go. There it is. Yep. Chicken dance comp. Why not? Like, yeah. No clue. Around 7K apparently. Yeah. So you can't even. That's the thing. We can't even determine exactly. Apparently, is that your guess, or did you find something on the website where it said rough figures?
Probably a wrong number from 2 years ago. Anyway.
That's probably he's probably overclicked the mouse or something. It's fucking.
Maybe I should have asked when I had to ring membership friggin' last week.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And the other one was there was one in there just before. There's one for Robbie, which I'll get him to do.
Yeah, this retro rant thing. I mean,
Yeah.
the first and basic way for you to engage with your community, is to keep existing traditions alive.
Correct.
Fuck me, come on, the RAF round.
Yeah.
How hard is it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny as actually I seen something on, I think it was Marketplace or some shit the other day where it was fucking all it was a post and it said friggin' looking for.
Mate, he's already inboxed me twice and I've told him I'm not selling any.
Looking for friggin' bloody RAF round kits or some shit like that. I was like, oh.
You missed your boat on those. They are. You get them when they're being sold. Otherwise, good fucking luck.
Yeah.
That's why I buy them all.
Lukey's put one in there. Do you think that there's players at the club that don't want to be here?
Yes.
100%.
Probably about 75% of the squad.
Mate, they're counting down the fucking days. They're counting down to the days of their contracts ending. I'm telling you now. It's an absolute fucking shit show, and you can't tell me that every bloke who's been out on that pitch is happy and shit like that. How the fuck did we let bloody Lucas Moragas go to Wellington and we're dealing with this shit? He's about to play finals football. Fucking hardly missed a game for them other than being injured. And we're struggling. Like, it just fucking doesn't, I don't know, does me head in. I don't get that, how we can just sort of let him go out on loan and then he gets used. Yeah. Anyway, there was a question in there for you, Robbie, while Ben's fucking shooing fucking family members.
Kids would have them.
Yeah, that's it. We were supposed to be takeover. We were supposed to be takeover in February, was it? Well, fuck, I didn't even see that.
I'm pretty sure I saw something about it in Keep Up. Yeah.
Okay.
There was talks of a takeover, and it fell through.
But again, it was, oh, look, we're talking to, this mob, whatever, prospective takeover looking like in February. Guess what? Obviously, it didn't happen.
So
Come out and say that it didn't fucking happen and why.
Yeah, or fucking, it's stalled. We're still negotiating.
Because if the Jets fans are good at anything, it's running a shit-hot conspiracy theory.
Oh, fuck yes.
Because they always think that everything's against us.
We're going to get into Chatty's question before he has to freaking go to bed or
hide little one because I'm losing it.
Can I ask Robbie, what do Adelaide do for their fans? Can I just tweak that a little bit?
Yes.
And just state not only what do they do for your fans, as in a club, but you guys as well, because as I said, you guys your own thing, and I'm sure you guys do your own stuff. But do you guys have a tradition like we had for the RAF round and stuff like that? Something that's been in the club for years and years and years that you just, I don't know, every fan knows it's happening. You know what I mean? Next year, I can't wait for next year, for the next one of those next year. It's going to be fucking great.
Anzac Day is always a big one for us.
Yeah.
So Anzac round, we always make sure we have a commemorative strip for that. So that's always something special. Obviously,
nice. Yeah.
For myself personally, I'm ex-ADF myself, so it means a lot to me, and obviously the boys that I served with back in the day. The other thing as well is we have a lot of communication with our club. Even Piet Vanderpoel, he was fantastic, mate. He was our Laurie. You could walk up to him any game and go, "Hey, I've heard this or I've seen this. Can you tell me anything?" And no matter how uncomfortable the conversation, he'd always say it to you with a smile. You could answer. He would answer the questions to the best of his ability. It was a good relationship to have. What I appreciate the most is they do keep us in the loop. They'll communicate with us on a weekly basis in regards to where the club's at, what the updates are, what the injuries are. We have a really, really good relationship with Rob Cornflake as well, who writes articles for us on a weekly basis.
Oh, cool.
And Robbie Cornflakes.
Yep. What's even nicer is Rob won't hold back. If we're underperforming, he will tear him a new one in these articles, and the club will post it on our page. So the club have never been one to shy away from the good, the bad stuff, and they understand that sometimes it's a club, you're going to take the good with the bad. We had a former employee who basically moved over to Europe. They studied a degree with FIFA. When they were over there, they watched everything from like League 7 all the way up to the Champions League and World Cup. And when he came back here, he came to us, the Red Army, first thing, and said, "What I saw in Europe is what I want to replicate over here." Yep. So they got the safe smoke. They sorted out the safe smoke for us. And Friday was the first time we've used it in some time. They'll help us sometimes with some of the TIFOs, but majority of ours is funded through Red Army memberships. So again, as I said, we make sure that we're not reliant on the club, but we accept their support and guidance. And we do a family fun day every year. So ours I think is coming up soon, and it's just a really good opportunity for the fans and the club to connect. Kids can get photos and signings of the players.
Yeah.
The last few years, Red Army have cooked a barbecue for them and basically taken the profits from that.
They get safe smoke. We can't even get a fucking drum.
Yeah.
Well, we pay for our drums.
We've got them and we've had them for years. They won't let us bring them in.
Yeah, mate. There's some weird shit.
The Mariners get an entire fucking band.
Is this where I upset you and say that we can store it at in our actual stadium?
Well, see, when Laurie was there, we used to do that all the time. All the tifos, all the shit.
Yeah, everything was stored
stay
at
in
the club.
Stadium.
Yep.
Stay in the stadium. It wouldn't even it'd be literally above our bay. You'd walk out of bay 1, and then there's a big storage fucking thing there, and it'd be just in there. Like, you wouldn't have to trek with it or anything. It's up the stairs.
And if it was something that was happening last minute, it would be dropped off to Laurie at the club on the Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And he would either fly into state with it, or he would bring it to the stadium with him.
Like our banners, whenever we go into state, right? So say, for instance, Melbourne away, the club will give us a call the week of and say, hey, do you guys need anything shipped over? So they'll take it with them on the flight over, and then they'll give it to us before the game. They'll pick it up after the game. And then fly
See,
over.
Laurie used to do that with us.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. The family fun day and shit like that. Every club does it.
It's arbitrary.
The Jets do it and stuff like that.
Western United do them every fucking second week.
Yeah.
Well, they have to, because that's their fan base, isn't it?
And that's right. That's exactly.
Well, yeah, they are. They're marketed to working class families.
I don't know. For me, I just feel they could be done a lot better from the Jets' point of view.
Everything could be done a lot better.
Oh, mate, everything needs to be done better. We've had 4. Fuck me, Ben. How many media managers have we had in the past fucking 5 years? We've had 2 in a year.
More than we've had fucking podcasts.
Fuck me.
You know what it is? It's the Jets at the moment as a club, holus bolus entirely across every single sector, across every single department, down to every single person employed. The goal on your exam is to get an A+. But a pass is a D. They managed to just get a D. Like they don't aim for the A+, they aim to just get the D. That's it. No more, no less.
That's it.
And it fucking shows.
100%'s good. 51's good enough.
Yep, if pass is 50%, we'll get 50.5.
That's it.
We'll aim for 50.5.
51's a bonus. Yeah, look.
51 costs too much, Josh.
No, fuck.
Must be 50.5 because we've only budgeted for 50.5.
All right. We may need to move on to the next subject because otherwise we will.
Oh, mate, I don't think we're going to get there. I don't even think we're
I don't think we're going to get there. We're going to be in our bonnet.
Yeah, we'll go through the A-League and finish that off. But at the end of the day, look, I don't know. It's a shit show. And for me, as sad as it is, the biggest one for me is I look forward to away days just to fucking watch the other supporters.
Sorry, look what they make me do. They're reducing me to drink alcohol.
Oh, yeah, because that was fully their fault.
Love it.
Trust me, when I'm up there in a week and a half's time, mate, against the Mariners, I'm going to need more than one can.
Mate, you'd be lucky if I fucking turn up.
I'll go. Whether I'm drunk or not by halftime will all depend on the scoreline.
Oh, mate, fucking hell.
I will tell you this, guys. If you ever want to come over for an Adelaide away, I do have a spare room. Chad, you can crash here for the night.
I don't think you want him there, mate.
No, but
he's got bad habits.
What? Following the Jets.
Just make sure you got socks on your feet, mate.
not even going there. But I do have a spare spot in mind. I'm like literally 15 minutes away from the stadium. Come to the RGK beforehand. You have a decent kebab roll. You have which has been featured on Footy Scrawn. Times. And we also
there'll be a farmers union in the fridge for you when you arrive.
Metwurst in the fridge, and there's also honey rakia at the RGK.
Players don't even know who he is or how to contact him. Rightio. Anyway, we're gonna leave it there on another Jets note before we wrap on that. As much as we've been going on about it, I have touched base with Cass Davis, Newcastle Jets women's captain. We are hoping to have her on in the next couple of weeks to get her opinion as the women's captain on the season that was. Again, it was a terrible season, unfortunately, and yeah. So if you guys have any questions for her, if you can get them to me ASAP, that would be great because I'm going to send her a list of questions off to her that we're going to ask her. And again, that's more so that she can have the right answer without sort of, putting her foot in it and shit, because that's the last thing we want is obviously her getting in trouble from the club point of view or any shit like that. So if you've got any questions for her in regards to the season gone or her personal playing career or whatever, as I said, she's the longest serving, longest, was it the longest friggin' out of
Record
all the males
appearance
and
holder.
females. Huh? Yeah, the most
Record appearance holder.
consecutive.
Yeah, consecutive.
So, she's it's no slouch. So yeah, feel free if you've got any questions for her, get them into us ASAP because we will be hoping to have her on after the women's grand final. If you haven't got tickets to the grand final yet, jump on and do so. It's at a core stadium. I believe it's a X amount of 1,000-seater stadium
and potentially a double header, which is just really showing the women's game the full credit it deserves.
Yeah. Tickets
I say that in I need to state this very, very clearly. I say that with full sarcasm.
If anybody didn't get that.
The 30th of April is the grand final, so be sure to get to that one if you can, if you're in the area and so forth, or if your team's playing in it. As I said, tickets are as low as $10. Maximum ticket, I think, is $20-$25, which is fantastic. Yeah, again, I say that with absolute sarcasm myself, but again, it is what it is. Be sure to get down there and support them if you can. And yeah, so good luck to the last couple of teams that are in the running to make the grand final, and good luck to them. So
didn't know it went this long. Oh wait, helps if you actually make it.
Anyway, Combank, is it? My apologies. I can't keep up. I'm still confused as to why they're playing in a 55,000-seater stadium, and no disrespect to the girls because they should be getting fucking banging crowds, but nowhere near going to fill that stadium.
Oh hell no! Imagine if it's both Melbourne teams.
Absolutely, 100%.
You watch them come out, swing them.
100%. No disrespect to anyone else, but you sort of hope it is.
Yeah, they'll come out swinging too. They won't hold back.
That's it. Just to sort of go, this is fucking bullshit.
They will.
You know what I mean? We've got, I don't know, let's say there's 6,000 fans here, and 5,000 of them are fucking bloody neutrals.
Yep.
Who are just friggin' fans of women's football.
What I'm going to be interested to see is how many corporates are going to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember, Ben, you can tell, and Ben and Josh, both having lived in Victoria yourselves, how many do you know that are in the AFL Grand Final Stadium are actually fans, and how many of them are corporates?
Oh, mate.
Oh, there's a fuck ton of corporate.
There's plenty of corporates. Don't get me wrong, right? Let's say, what was the crowd the other week? I think it was 55,000 the other week. Last weekend to watch Carlton versus North Melbourne. Fucking turnout. For North Melbourne, because unfortunately they're struggling a bit these last few seasons. So to get 55,000 of that, knowing that they've been struggling a bit, and Carlton definitely struggling, but have a massive fan base.
Yeah.
You'd easily estimate friggin' there would have been 10 to 15,000 of those tickets.
Corporate.
Yeah, a good 25% of it would have been corporate.
My former one of my former employers had a row of seats at the Medallion Club at Marvel, or now Marvel, back then it was Telstra Dome. And I can't tell you how many games I walked in there to the Medallion Club and just watched the game for free.
Yeah. Well, exactly on that note, every Carlton match that I've watched at Marvel Stadium has been in the friggin' the Medallion Club and purchased off eBay for as little as $25.
Jesus.
Literally. And you go in there and it includes, and you get a free meal and
Mm-hmm.
fucking all that shit. This beautiful
It's
food,
beautiful food.
bread and everything else.
Yeah.
Only
And,
time
yeah,
I've
literally-
been there, only time I've done sport under corporate.
Yep.
Many moons ago. And I got to watch firsthand John Cosmina get knocked off his chair. Yes, it was that game. Again, as a neutral, my auntie got the tickets because she worked for ExxonMobil.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus.
God rest her soul, she's no longer with us.
Yeah.
But knew I enjoyed the football. Knew I didn't support A-League back then because that was fucking donkeys ago. But yeah, fucking corporate. Loved it. Free food, free piss.
Absolutely. Anyway, we're going to quickly dive into the week that was in the A-League. Again, here we are. Seriously, we set bloody friggin' what we were going to talk about, and we've gone fucking way off.
And
that.
then somebody in the chat sets us off.
Yeah, save that next week. Anyway, this week's games: Western United, Central Coast Mariners, 3-0 to the Coast. Looking good.
Again,
They are looking very, very good at the moment.
they had a dip. They had a dip there for a little bit, and now
They
they're
did a
just
dip.
coming back strong.
Yep.
And that's what's scaring me at the moment is that they're coming back strong right at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, good result for the Central Coast. Adelaide United 1-1 with Sydney FC. Look, disappointing result for Adelaide for me. They had to have surely in their mind seen 3 points out of that one and nothing else.
I still cannot understand a team's mentality of going 1-0 up when you have that level of defensive ability and expect to get a win. I mean, that second half after Goodwin scored, we just dropped right back. Like that first half, in the first 15 to 20 minutes, we had that many scoring opportunities and that many shots near target and just could not convert. Goodwin scores in a cracker on the 46, and then we're just sitting there with our dicks in our hand for the next 42 minutes until they score an equaliser, a filthy goal. So it's a few people have already started the mumbles of the post international break again. I'm hoping that's not the case, and I'm hoping we come out hard this week because we've got Perth Glory at home in next weekend, and I can assure you that's the game I'm probably the most worried about. I'm not worried about Central Coast Mariners because it's at home. Perth Glory at home, that's a completely different story.
Yeah. Moving on from that one, we do have the result from Brisbane 3-0 over Newcastle Jets. Absolute shambles. I don't understand how we can dominate possession and not have as many shots as we did. That's a different story. MacArthur 2-2 with Western Sydney Wanderers. Interesting result there.
Good result for them.
Yeah, you take that. Good hard fought derby there. So Melbourne victory 0-0 with Perth Glory. Again, Melbourne victory far out. Don't know what's going on there. I think it's just going to take one good victory. And
I do have a stat for that game.
Pardon?
I do have a stat for that game.
Mm-hmm.
There was not one shot on target from either side until after the 60th minute.
That's interesting.
And that's it.
And then
three
after
shots on
that-
target to Melbourne.
Victory ended up with something like 13 shots on target, I think, by the end of the game and still couldn't put one in.
No, so
They come close, like they hit the fucking inside of the bar and everything. They were
Just
knocking
couldn't
on the
get it in.
door.
3 shots on target to Melbourne, 1 shot on target to Perth, 14 shots in total to Melbourne, 7 shots to Perth. The possession was dominated by Melbourne, 61% to 39.
Mm-hmm.
531 passes to Perth's 339, and dominated the pass accuracy as well. So, yeah, interesting there. And unbelievably, 3 games to go, still a chance by mathematical chance to make the finals football. Fucking craziness. After
Season's
the
been
shambles
crazy.
of the season they've had. Melbourne City, too good. 4-1 over Wellington Phoenix. Yeah.
McLaren and Telio were just class. And the
Yeah.
best joke of the day
Yep.
came from one of my group from the Adelaide United, which was when Laws got red carded.
Yep.
He didn't follow the law of the game.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Talk about a dad joke.
Oh mate. But that was did you see that? When he got the red card? That was just like I even posted in the group chat. If anyone tells you that's not a red card, please send them my way. I was waiting for it.
Welcome, Matty, as well, who joined us late. What I was going to say, so that pretty much rounded out round 23. Round 24, we'll quickly bolt through these ones. Newcastle Jets versus Macarthur at McDonald Jones Stadium on Friday night, 7:45. If you can't make it to the Dogs for Boys Night, be sure to make it down there. Bloody Central Coast Mariners, Melbourne City should be an interesting game down
Game of the round.
coast. Yeah, I'd probably say it's going to go close. Western Sydney Wanderers, Melbourne Victory. Wellington Phoenix, Brisbane Roar. That'd be a good game there. If Brisbane get on a roll, it could change everything for them. They if they play the way they did against us, they can beat Wellington for sure. Sydney against Perth, which will be a very interesting game. That one, that'll be a very tight, cagey match. I feel with that one there.
I'm going for Perth just to make sure that Sydney is 7th by the end of the round.
And then the final one on Sunday, the 16th at 5 p.m. Adelaide United versus Western United. There'll be plenty of that is tour of duty for Western United. So there will be plenty of friggin' Western United fans there for that one. To all the boys that are going down there, be sure friggin' hit up Robbie on Instagram and so forth. He'll fucking look after you, and it's probably not invite you to the pub because that might be awkward. But friggin' he might take the beer
after the game. If we win after the game, absolutely come on back.
Yeah,
just expect a little bit of ribbon.
If you guys beat them, friggin' be sure to invite Robbie to your pub. I'd love to see photos. But yeah, so plenty of the boys going there, Benny and so forth. So Benny, reach out to Robbie, mate. Friggin', I'm sure he'll definitely catch up with a beer and friggin' have a chat at some point. Yep. No dramas at all. But yeah, so yeah, wait day for those guys. And then that's pretty much it. Friggin', we're running down.
Hey, there was one game we've missed.
Oh, yes.
Now, we have, for the second time in the A-League, a Guinness World Record for, in this case, the longest time between goals scored
in a single game.
Good
game, yeah.
So on Wednesday night, City and Melbourne Victory finally finished round 8.
Which, by the way, was a fucking cracking game.
It was. Unfortunately, Melbourne Victory couldn't do it enough. They didn't have a 1-1 win or 1-1 draw, but due to aggregate of the goals scored before the bucket incident, 2-1 in the end. So O'Neill scored in the 11th and then the 57th minute. It was a cracking game.
Yeah,
it just felt so weird, man. Starting off with a drop ball, 21st minute.
Fucking weird.
So, but what was
the game? Prove that Victory can play football when they want to play
Yeah.
football. You know what I mean? Like, they were in that game the whole frigging time, and just no idea what's going on with the season, of why they're sort of frigging having the shit season they are. I'm sure as an Adelaide fan, you're loving it, Robbie, but it's interesting. It's interesting to see that they can play that shit when they want to. So as I said, only a couple of rounds to go. Benny will be down next weekend to watch the Jets play the Central Coast Mariners. So be sure, get into Bay 2.
We might not be there.
And also make sure to keep an eye out for the A-League All Access tomorrow.
Ouchie.
I'm wearing his kit right now. Absolute top lad. The future Socceroos goalkeeper. He is. I know you don't like to admit it, Josh, but he is. He will be the future.
It's not that I don't like to admit it. If he's the next Aussie, all for it, and congratulations to him. I just think it's a little too early to jump the gun.
Hey, Matty Ryan's only 30, mate. So give him a couple more years. Matty Ryan retires, and then bang, Gauchi's
Is he
good
only
to go.
30?
Mate, I checked the stats. Yeah, yeah.
He's
yeah.
a pup. Mate, he's about to hit his prime.
Mate,
He's got a decade left.
I shat myself when I saw how old he was. I was like, fuck, I feel old.
What is it now? 30? So he's only 30. And what are we at? When's the next World Cup? 2026.
6. Yeah, so he'll be
Whatever the
only
next World Cup.
33.
33?
Yep.
Fuck, he's probably got 2 more World Cups in him.
I mean, you look at it this way. Buffon's still playing in fucking League 2.
Yeah,
in
well,
Italy.
international usually gives way, obviously, a couple of years early before your career ends to give you more playing time. So 37, he'll be 37 at the second World Cup.
Yeah.
Could be his final swan song.
I
Exactly.
was about to say, how old was Schwarzer in 06?
Oh.
06 wasn't the problem. It was the one after that, 2010.
10.
Did he do 10?
11, 12, 13, 14.
I thought Ryan did 10.
No, he definitely was there for 10.
No, I think
14.
Ryan was 14.
Was he there for the 14 as well? Was he there for 14? 14.
I reckon he was second or third.
That'd be an interesting one. See, bring up the 2014. Lukey, bring up the 2014 Aussie World Cup squad. I think he was there. He may not have been first choice.
No, but I reckon he was second or third choice.
Surely he was there. But anyway, but yeah, look, at the end of the day, if he fucking makes it, mate, he makes it. I'm all for him, but a little bit, it's just one of those little bit, too early. Does he deserve to be 2 or 3 at the moment in that Australian mix? Absolutely. But as I said, unfortunately with goalkeepers, they don't retire at 32.
No. I look at it this way: if you can keep Delianoff out the first spot in the team,
he's doing all right.
He's doing all right. So as I said, just watch. If the kid's got stock, and I'm fully riding it.
Yeah. Other news, if anyone missed it this morning, friggin' Ben Foster, friggin' mate, 40 years of age. We talk about goalkeepers in their prime.
His 40th birthday.
Back to the podcast and back to the football. Friggin' away he goes. Like he didn't even skip a beat. His movement and how quick he was off the line was fucking next level.
That was a solid save on the penalty.
That's the thing. Like the save was impressive. I was more impressed of how quick he moved off the line. I was just like, holy fuck. He was.
I don't even move out of bed that early.
Oh, I know. He was so quick, man. Like unbelievable. I get it was luck. Like, there's no question. I'm sure he'd own up to it. It's pure luck, obviously, picking what side you want to go to. But there was.
Walter was 37 at the 2010 World Cup.
There you go. So that would have been his last.
Oh.
There you go. So 37, there it is.
Because he's 50 now.
Oh, wow.
We don't look up.
He'd probably still go. He'd still go. He's friggin' youngsters. He's youngsters friggin' playing as a keeper somewhere. He got signed somewhere. But yeah, anyway. What was we just talking about? Yeah, so yeah, Foster doing all things for Wrexham. Killing it at the moment.
I can't wait for next season.
Yeah.
I just
really get another contract.
That show literally has turned Wrexham from yes, it's got history, but now
Philippines, that's right.
It's just massive.
Yeah.
They're doing what they initially set out to do, and that was build a dynasty.
And they have.
That's it.
And you know what was really enjoyed? Rob McEnroe. The other Rob.
Good McEnroe. Still getting a mention.
Yeah.
Rob McElhenney.
What does he call himself? The other Rob, I think it is. But he posted on Twitter today, he goes, I don't know how I spent that many years saying football was a boring game.
Yeah. I've seen that.
And I was just like, thank you. This is what we've been talking about.
Maybe the Jets should friggin'
He's a hearts on a sleeve owner.
Oh, massive. Both him and Ryan Reynolds have been. So, and look, I always had a soft spot for Ryan Reynolds anyway. I think he's an amazing actor. But, it's been great to see the humanity coming out of these two.
Yeah.
and just what they've done for that community is massive. So full props to them.
And that's their
Absolutely.
thing. It's community first. Club second.
Fancy that, eh? Fancy that.
See, we
Oi,
brought it all
Jets,
around,
fucking
mate.
taking notes.
Yeah, someone. Yeah, get the Jets on a friggin' bloody on the friggin'
on the blower.
We'll make our own. Maybe it friggin' might take off. Bring in some fucking international bloody friggin' actors to fucking buy us out.
No,
Anyway.
you'll get Matthew McConaughey. All right.
All right. I'd be all over that. Oh yeah. Fucking, my wife would be fucking happy days.
Hang on.
Fucking bloody Magic Mike and
Chris just hit the nail on the head. Hugh Jackman buys the Jets. Ryan Reynolds brings over Wrexham. And it'll be the original Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Funny, because that joke is being branded around left, right, and fucking centre.
yeah.
Really?
Fucking, yes, Ryan Reynolds has fucking publicly called out Hugh Jackman a couple of times going, hey, Hugh, when are you going to buy a club? To continue that rivalry. And you know what? I wouldn't put it past him either.
I didn't even know, but beautiful.
I would have laughed if that game against Notts County, Hugh Jackman just so happened to rock up and go sit with the Notts County fans.
Oh, that would be beautiful. It'd be like the beginning of Deadpool 3. Deadpool 4.
Looks like South Melbourne knocked out of the cup to Kingston City FC.
NPL 2!
The underdogs.
NPL 2!
Please check on South Melbourne Mike. Make sure he's okay. And if he's not, continue to rub it in his fucking face.
Oh, boys, there we go. Anyway, guys, we are going to wrap it there. We do thank everyone for jumping on the podcast. Benny and I do apologise for...
I don't.
Oh, mate, we
don't.
We do a little bit. Fucking, we didn't mean to get it that heated.
I just wish he would have told me sooner. I had popcorn in my cupboard. I could have.
Oh, mate.
I come prepared.
No, we are going to look at doing a podcast in regards to the Jets, and I'm going to look at trying to get a few other fans on for that one, to just sort of get their thoughts and everything else of what's been going on, and not just so it's heard from Ben and my point of view, because at the end of the day we're frustrated and we're sick and tired of not seeing the club succeed the way that we
For me to lose my nana at it, it's gone way too far.
But it also shows the passion. It shows that we
100%.
give a shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, fuck me. Liverpool's struggling this year, and fucking not once have I yelled at the TV about getting beaten fucking by some low fucking club or anything like that. It just happened, and fuck whatever. But every time we get beat with the Jets, I'm fucking furious. You know what I mean? Because it's not the way. I should be watching the club play. We can play better than that, and anyway.
Thank you to Tech. I did see Aiden's comment like very earlier. He's just gone, I've got one word. Shit. Ingham. And now he's just given me the idea for a chant when I go next week. What do we think of Ingham? Shit. What do we think of shit? Ingham.
Thank you.
That's all
Thank
right.
you. That's all right. That's okay.
Actually, there's I think there's an Ingham chicken factory somewhere close to me. I'll go down and see if I can get some bags.
If you like chicken
Mate,
tonight.
I'm telling you, those chicken thighs that you grab from that Ingham factory could probably put in a cross better than what Ingham can. I've made no. Let's just say my criticisms of Ingham have not exactly been quiet. Nor Grozos.
Let me guess. Are we bordering on the cease and desist letter being issued, or are we
Cease and
going straight
desist
for the
for what?
defamation case?
No, I think between Ingham and Grozos, I think we've got a strong case of defamation. Well, actually, no, it couldn't be defamation because it's all fucking true.
Only dealing facts, my friend.
Yep.
Anyway, so I think there was one point up there. Luke put in there something where I think we've played five times in finals football. 5 times. Fucking not good enough.
Once in the last 10 years, I think.
Or something, something like from 2010 10 to 11 or something like that once since then.
That's not even the bridesmaid. That's the fucking flower girl.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, it's at Barrow. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere. Anyway, we're going to leave it there. We do thank Ben and Robbie for jumping on and running the podcast with us today. Cheers, guys.
Always pleasure.
Grazie, senor.
Absolutely. Before we wrap out the show, just a quick one in regards to the sponsors. Benny, just whack them up there one more time for us. We do thank Gabriel Optometrist at Jesmond. Be sure to go see those guys for your eye care needs. We do appreciate everything they do for the show. And our new sponsor, the Kafi Cafe at the top of town in the plaza. Be sure, go check those guys out. Absolute great feed, great coffee. Benny will attest to that. I don't drink coffee, so. But you reckon?
Nah, Julian does a good coffee.
Yeah, get your chip batty. Absolute banging. Chip on bread roll. It's an absolute great feed. So, yeah. Go see the boys down there. Tell them we sent you, and obviously there's no discounts or anything at the moment, but I'll look after you. And
He even stocks HP for me.
He does.
Oh,
He does.
man of the people.
Yep.
So, anyway, we're going to leave it there. We will see you guys at some point next week. I'll be in some sort of capacity. I'm probably getting my tooth ripped next Monday, so we'll see how we go. Only a couple of weeks, friggin' Benny had his done, so we'll see how we go with that one. But yeah, if I'm not here, the boys will be here next week, and that could be a scary podcast.
We're gonna run a fucking muck.
Gloves are off.
That's been cancelled. Anyway, you'll see someone next week. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy your football this weekend, wherever you may be watching it. Get down and support your local clubs as well. And yeah, 100 days thereabouts until the Women's World Cup. Get excited, get your tickets. And yeah, football, as always, is the winner. And as always, Benny,
We hate Coast Scum.
you've pressed it there somewhere. You pressed it,
Yeah.
yes? Yeah. Happy days. I can't hear it, so I'm guessing he's pressed it. Anyway,
Welcome to my life.
yeah, exactly, mate. Take it easy, guys. See you next week and enjoy your weekend of footy. See you guys.